I'm Jewell Parker Rhodes. I'm an author and a teacher of creative writing at Arizona State University, and I wrote Sugar.
Why read historical fiction? Well, have you ever wanted to be a time traveler? Reading historical fiction, you travel back in time into the past, and through your imagination and the author's characters, you get to experience it. You get to feel it. You get to have the adventure of it. So historical fiction, it stimulates your mind because you learn new things about history, but it also stimulates your heart and it tells you a great story. And for an instant, I travel, you travel, and we come up with new worlds and, in a sense, a new life to live. I've lived 1,000 different lives through my imagination. I make up stories and think, what would it have been like to be a little girl like Sugar on a plantation? And sometimes when I'm writing, I feel it, I experience it, and I feel as though I've learned about the past, and I've also learned about myself, and I'm taking you on the journey with me. Historical fiction is meant to inspire you to go learn about new things, to do more research. In writing historical fiction, you start from the premise that humanity is the same across times. People live, breathe, think, have similar desires. So they're really not distant people. They're actually more like cousins or half-brothers and half-sisters. And so I have a responsibility to treat them as empathetic, well-rounded beings. Historical fiction encourages you to expand your knowledge. It's like opening one door, and there's another and another of things for you to study, things for you to research, and things for you to learn. Now, this is what I'd like each and every one of you to do. Think about your historical story. What do you need to learn? What do you want to write about? What do you want to share with the reader? Your turn.
I have 6 tips for getting started on writing historical fiction. 1.
Be inspired. Find a spark for your imagination. My friend sent me an article about Chinese workers on Louisiana's sugarcane plantations. I was amazed. I never knew the Chinese worked in the 19th century in Louisiana on sugarcane plantations. Amazing. My tip number 2 is research, research, research. I use anything and everything I can. I read books, I scroll the internet, I look at atlases and study geography, and I even travel to places if need be. I traveled to the Laura Plantation, and the Laura Plantation was actually a working plantation during the Reconstruction era. So I got to see, touch, and smell the shacks, the big house, the Mississippi River. I saw all the animals and the remnants of the cane. It was marvelous for research.
3. You need to think critically. Compare and contrast the past with the present day.
Today we know that sugar is inexpensive, and we also know that it can be terrible for your health. But in the 19th century, they thought sugar was a luxury. And instead of having today's machines to harvest sugar, they had men, women, and children who worked hard and led miserable lives.
4. Explore societal roles. How did people live every day in the past?
Did it matter if you were rich or poor? Did it matter if you were a boy or a girl? Were there differences if you were black or white or Chinese in the 19th century?
5. Point of view.
What do you want to say to your readers? What do you want to communicate about the past? For me, I developed the theme of freedom. I wanted to tell people that sugar, a child should be free to play, not work. A child should be free to have opportunities to explore the big, wide world. A child should be free to make friends with anybody and everybody.
6, and this is the most important, you need to show, don't tell. You need to create characters that come alive.
I have to hear them. Sometimes their voice will come to me and I'll just start writing. Sugar was very special. Not only did I hear her voice, but I saw her. And there was this little girl with her hands on her hips saying, "How come I can't play?" When you create characters, you have to think about their exterior. But more important than that, you have to think about their inside selves. What do they want? What do they need? What do they desire? And it's that inside self that actually drives your story. Sugar wants friends. Sugar doesn't want to be lonely. Sugar desires freedom. And Sugar feels sad sometimes because her mother is long dead. So those emotions, that interior life, I pay a great deal of attention to because that helps decide how Sugar's going to act. Sugar just isn't a symbol for the past. Sugar is a living, breathing, smart girl. If you haven't already read Sugar, you'll have to read it and find out more.